Thanks for staying with us. So, a gentleman many Nigerians know as Reno Omokri has actually posted something that caught our attention. According to him, he says that why do we? Let me just read his tweet exactly. He was specifically saying that he proposed that Nigeria bans the importation and sale of human hair. According to him, he was saying that Nigeria loses a lot of foreign exchange due to importation of human hair. He also called for the ban on bleaching creams. But this now stirs up a conversation about other things that we import into our country, because something Governor Baseki said in the papers struck my mind, that it's a collective responsibility. All of us, if we want to build our economy, then it's something we all have to do across board. But however, somebody will say that there's a demand. Obviously, somebody will take the opportunity to sell, so that there is a business opportunity, and it's also helping to develop the economy of Nigeria. What's your take on this? On his perspective as regards the importation of goods, not just human hair or bleaching creams, but so many other items that we import in this country. What are your thoughts? You can share your comments on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet it to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. I own human hair. I have. I'm not wearing it right now. I buy it because I like it. But he is saying that we are losing money when we import these items. Just in fact, people are making millions by selling human hair. And it's an opportunity for us to discuss the pros and cons for this kind of business. Let me let you start, Nima.
Why not?
No,
because I will agree with Reno anyway on this one. I totally agree with him. And I'm just reading what he said in totality. I think if you read it, you cannot but agree. You know, he went on the health side, he went on the economic side. He thinks that, you know, depleting our foreign reserves for these products that are dangerous to our people and adds to the complexities, or what will you call it? The complex of each human, by giving women the inferiority complex. And I totally agree that these products, especially the human hair, make women look funny. African women, personally, it just turns me off. I talk about it a lot. And he went on the cream side and how the Bangladeshi community are getting enriched, selling these products to us. Now, we are dealing with health issues as well. You know, we don't know how the processing of these products go in. If we must at all use them, can they be made to make us look as if we have dignity in the way God has made us? That's number one. Number two, if we must at all use any of these foreign or these bleaching products and products that change our nature the way God has made us, can it at least be made here so that we keep the money home? You know, one lot and all of those kind of things. We have those principles. Yeah. We do so much. You know, just before that, we went on the topic. Topic was like, what do we now produce? Even the clothes we are wearing, fabrics and all of them are no longer produced here. See where it has brought us.
Okay, we'll come to that. Currency. Do you want to come and jump in here?
Yeah, so for me, I like the conversation on us going within, using local, you know, producing what we eat, what we wear, how we wear it, everything. I like that conversation, and it's a conversation that I am a proponent of. However, I like to have it holistically. I don't like to be a hypocrite because there are certain things I do not like, and the ones I like, I throw away my face and feel, okay, this is okay. This is not harming me. This one is better. And then I sit on a judgment throne and judge the things I do not like and condemn them without even understanding the reasons behind why people do what they do and why people tilt to that direction. If we have to look at importing, banning importation in total, we are banning everything. We are not really producers. We're a consuming nation. We will ban to toothpick. We will ban floss. We don't make it here. We will ban everything that we are using. The phones we are using, do you make it here? You don't produce your phones. The phone you are using to type, ban this and ban that and ban. You don't produce the phone. So let's have a holistic conversation. Call people to the table and say, okay, how can we do this, this, and this? Do we have manufacturers that we can look into this industry. Okay, what are the needs of our women? They say they want to lighten. Can they do it naturally? I'm into a cosmetic industry as well, and I'm producing body oils for my kitchen, and they are all locally sourced. Nobody called me to have a conversation that, auntie, this thing you're doing, I would like to support you. You're trying to grow our economy. But you sit down, you buy your champagne in your room, you drink it, it's imported. You eat your noodles like we had today, is imported. You eat your sardines that are imported. You wear the finest laces and abaya that is imported, and then you condemn because you don't like the hair and say this is where our money is going to.
Right.
Of course, that's not all we import here.
All right, so some will say, I mean, we all know that the United States is the largest importer of goods, second by China and Germany, and these are economies that have been built
Huge
on some of these things. But how do we understanding where Reno is coming from? Because we're not the United States. We are still trying to build. We don't have anything to boast of right now. I mean, we have a few things we do boast of, but we are still trying to build ourselves. Where do we find a middle ground, Tope? What are your thoughts, and how do we find a middle ground?
So there would always be the naturalist. There would always be those that I would be like, I'll go for luxury no matter what it is. And even the United States you just quoted, they complain about having trade deficits, which means that they are getting in more, they are spending more money importing than they are exporting. I think the real issue is not to point fingers at where the problem is, but to find solutions within. Yeah. It is to boost our production. Nigeria isn't producing. That's our biggest problem. Our problem is not that we are importing, is that we are not producing enough. Everything we produce goes out as raw, and then we bring it in as processed. Refined. And that is the problem. I watched, there's a particular analogy I saw online. He said a bar of stainless steel will probably cost $100. He said, if you break that bar down into spoons, you buy that spoon, it'll be like $200. If you break it down and turn it into jewelry, you probably buy that same bar of stainless steel, it will become $1,000. But if you use the stainless steel to do special things in the wristwatch, the price value of it goes even higher. The moment we as a country look inwards and start thinking about processing our production, like refining our production, not just exporting raw materials, then we are adding value. Then the deficit would even out. You cannot stop people from their life. You cannot stop them from consuming things that they are used to consuming. What you can do is to provide them viable alternatives within Nigeria. I did not know, before they banned rice, I have found a viable alternative with eating rice within Nigeria. Yeah. We should stop trying to stop Nigerians from bringing in things. Provide alternatives within Nigeria, make it more affordable, make the Nigerian products more competitive, make the foreign one have taxes that will make it impossible for people to buy. Then you are talking about a viable solution.
Because there's always that part of I would not always blame the middle class. And we are the ones that have these, we are the ones looking for we're the ones bringing these things into our country. We're not allowing our country to develop at its own pace. We went to a store recently, and they're saying that they're paying in dollars. I said, excuse you, they're paying in dollars. You come to in Nigeria, a store in Nigeria, and you enter, you pay in dollars. And I'm thinking to myself, so that sounds luxurious, very luxurious, paying dollars. But how does it affect our economy? If you're getting Nigerians to be, so these are conversations that are hard to have. When we're going to break, we'll come back. Thanks for staying with us. I'm told I have a caller, Abubakar from Kogi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You're live.
Yes, please, I want to just contribute to the topic people are discussing. Problem with this our country is that, like in Islam, it said contentment.
Contentment.
You lack contentment in this country. If you are contented with what you have, God who made you, God will give you the brain to develop. Like all those cosmetic and other things, we can do our own locally. But even we are like that, if you want to change your skin, that local we can do it. Maybe to adopt men or something, just look at men. But we lack contentment on what we have. So I pray that our elect should encourage local production. All those importation, you should stop it. Whether you like it or not, with time we will be able to eat. People that can be shouting, all those things, the local one is costly, outside one is more durable, it's less costly. Yes, by the time we started it, this will now become down, then the cost will be reducing. But if the says the output is coming, the says what you get will increase.
know, Nigerians are generally good people, and when they see something affordable, they will take it. I always, when we talk about stuff like this, I remember HITV, High TV. High TV came at a time where the Nigerian system was not ready for it. We had DSTV then, and then we came in with this property of the Premier League. Nigerians like, oh, this is our own indigenous. Many people switched. But unfortunately, that DSTV came with a nation backing it. Their banking system was backing their industry, such that they could get funds from the country to buy as much property. Then our banking system wasn't even recapitalized enough to support that kind of a business. So it was a Nigerian who saw an opportunity, brought it in, tried to do the Nigerian version of it. But our system could not support it. I'm just saying that's part of the issue. So even if I want to produce internally, for example, I'm making Gary internally, sometimes we don't have enough system to help us to expand it, to process it to the various levels at this time. So I'll continue to import the goods. I'm going to pay for DSTV.
President-elect, when he talked something local, he went on, our foods, and they made it a meme, or what did they call it, online. And is it for Gary, is it for Eba? But the truth is, Gary, just as Miriam said yesterday, is not Garium, it's not Gary Flakes, it's not cassava, it is Gary. It is what it is. The Chinese Exim Bank sponsors China to all the countries where they go. When they give the loan, the Chinese get the employment. And we are looking at it, we are sitting down. You understand? When we come here and we talk about, Reno was even the one, Reno wrote it in his message, and how the Nigerian music took over the world. It was somebody's insistence. He said the President Obasanjo's regime, working with Bemure Bruce, forced Nigerian content. And I remember there was one radio station that time. Even the accent, I could not follow.
But now they are making more money from
They're making more money from the local content. And we are looking at it. You see, when we say that there's a demand and so it must be met, the businessmen have not come inside yet. It's the small businessmen who think, okay, let's just import it and enjoy it. When you go into production, you own the entire system. You are not doing small. You are the owner of the entire system. I have tested it with rice. From the milling, from the buying of paddy, everything. I've tested it.
Okay, let me take this.
And we can do that, and we can actually empower more people, our own people. And let's not be ashamed. If it is still the process of Gary from mud pots to fry pan and all of that, that the process produces that product. Let's own it. It's our own way of technology first, before we jump and be jumping everywhere.
Absolutely. Let me take
we want to buy it when we own it.
Let me take it from Olu. Olu is calling from Igondo. You're live.
Good morning, Mariam.
Good morning.
Yeah. I want to correct one question about what Dr. said about we can produce and allow the foreign to come in. Due to our nature in Nigeria, Buhari did one thing. It is not because of the bandit or whatever. I am support of the people that, issue of rights producing in Nigeria. If the federal government gives the funds to Nigeria for a loan to produce rice and open border, Nigeria will bring foreign rice. They will not produce one single bag because we like foreign goods. Nigeria will never produce. We will all import. We take over 500 billion to the Thailand economy. Now.
Oh, good. I wanted to hear him.
Nigeria is insurance family. So Nigeria needs to wake up. We should create jobs, not only government. We need to create a job for our nation. We have a good things. We have a good product here that we can bring up. Look at during the Obasanjo era, dollar food didn't have to move to Singapore. Because all these food deals there was chemical. But Obasanjo stop it. Look at all the licenses, whatever we are taking today as Nigerian products.
Thank you very much, Olu. I'm going to talk about it because this appetite we have for foreign goods.
Yeah, there will always be people that would do foreign goods. You can't stop them from doing foreign goods. We live in a democracy. We live in a free system. What you would do is profit from their thirst for foreign goods. A government that is thinking would find a way to put enough excise duties, taxes on those foreign goods that you will make it. If you really want to buy that basmati rice, if you still
people are still buying it.
How are they done it for champagne? See, so there is a part of policy policies are very important. Creating an enabling environment is very important. Everybody can quote what former Governor President Obasanjo did, because we knew there was a change in that time. I've had opportunity to talk to business owners, the owner of Biloxi Biscuits, and he spoke about the fact that the Obasanjo made the environment conducive, had meetings. Whenever any goods are stocked, you can send a text message to special advisor and your goods be released so that you can continue production. And just a few years back, he had to shut down the factory just because they didn't have raw materials. It was stuck at the port. So it is we cannot wish away enabling environment and the government being willing to provide that enabling environment. We don't have that right now.
But can we curb our own appetite for these? Because I hear you. There's a part of government which we know, but also
compelling competition. Biloxi is a locally made biscuit, and they came up as a compelling opposition for all the other crackers. And guess what? It became a norm, and it was in schools, in offices. They took over. Yeah. Why? Compelling opposition and the government support. So you cannot be pointing hand and saying that the government should ban when there is no compelling opposition. It's like saying remove subsidy and do this one. There is no compelling opposition. Ban rice. We didn't have enough compelling opposition, so people were still smuggling it in. If we had enough locally produced rice, everywhere you turn, you are seeing local rice, and it's cheap. You would not want to go and meet.
Let me take this, James. James Omoshodi, you're live.
Okay, yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Yes, the lady in white talked about the phones we use being imported, and that's the same phone we also used to ask the government to stop importation. I wanted to react to this. I'm aware that there was a time that Mr. President launched a phone that was made in Nigeria. What has happened to that phone? How come nobody is hearing about anything about that phone again? I just remember.
It was coupled in Nigeria. I didn't get that.
It was made here.
So let me say something.
Let her respond to.
Okay. So Tope was saying, you cannot control the taste of your people. But when we go to China, we eat what their governments have controlled. We know countries in the world. Only a few countries practice democracy the way we twist it to understand it here.
China is not democracy.
But only a few. I said only a few countries. The Malaysians and all of those countries we visit, and we follow what they eat and they consume, what they produce in their countries. We allot them when we come back here. If you give that alternative, there's taste and luxury, it will continue to be the thing of class. That, oh, no, it wasn't bought here. It's a mentality thing. And Reno is going to the mentality. He's talking about people's mindsets, complex, inferiority, superiority complex. He's going to continue to control market forces here.
May I pause you?
But just a moment. You can disagree when I'm done. But you must shut and force your people to look within.
Yeah. Really?
That's government. That's regulation. Okay, if you want to regulate chemicals in production, the production is not taking place here. How can you regulate?
Yes.
You ban and they will stop you.
Reno, I didn't want to go there, but he married a white person. Why didn't he look local? Why didn't he look within to pick somebody from here? Are you telling us that we are not finding
his wife not affect our economy?
I'm sure. Hold on. No.
His choice of wife have not affected my economy.
You cherry pick the one you think.
Yeah. His choice of wife have not affected my economy.
You are not an economist. You don't know the bride price that was paid in dollars. What are you talking about?
Don't marry the dog. How has that affected the economy?
Now. He married a white person.
Let's not get distracted.
I'm sure in his house, he eats with all those Chinese plates and everything. I'm sure there are foreign equipment in his house. His decor will definitely be foreign. He did not buy any local thing in his house. But that's the point I'm trying to make. You cannot sit down and cherry pick. So let's take away the elites in the first place. Let's move them to one corner. Let's talk about the masses. We do not have enough purchasing power. Everybody wants something that's affordable.
100%.
When we started saying, okay, we don't want to eat foreign rice, for instance, we went to the market. I've been eating local rice for as long as I can remember. But the local rice was more expensive by the time we started buying it than the foreign rice. Yeah. So because I can afford a local one and I want to be patriotic, does not mean that my next door neighbor can afford that. They will go for the cheaper one. So what is the government's role in ensuring that we make it affordable for everybody? Right. See, we like good things and we like our own. Nigerians are the only Africans that travel outside the country and they wear the Ankara. Even the Ankara is not done here. We do not have companies that produce it here. The Adire silk now that everybody is wearing is not done here. It's imported. People have seen the inadequacies of government. I'm sorry, my darling. Inadequacies of government, and they're cashing into that thing. So government needs to empower those local producers, support them so that they flood the market and then give people a choice. That's one way. So,
I have a call. I'm holding for you. Right,
We're on the same page.
Wait,
Sorry,
I'm coming.
conclusion.
Let me good morning, Sheon. Are you there? Let me give you a pass so you don't forget.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning. Good morning, ladies.
You're live.
Great job you're doing.
Thank you.
I don't usually blame government, but on this one, I would put the blame on government. I remember during Obasanjo's era, our Ankara was out. But I don't know what he did. He brought that Ankara back, that our local, art. So I think we should do the same. What we did for entertainment, we should do it for other things. And the government should provide electricity, with production alone. The government should do that for us. And we are people. You see, though, we have that, foreign appetite. Even if you take our local stuff and you tell someone that, this thing is foreign, the person will still buy. Yeah, but let us provide that alternative. We cannot be banning everything. We can't ban everything. Let us provide the alternative.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back and take some comments on social media, stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we've heard repeatedly the part of the government, the importance of policy, how government must create an enabling environment. But I have always been a proponent of we the people. We need to choose, do we want a country, do we really want to develop our economy as a people? Are we part of this transition that we're looking to get, which is what Governor Obaseki was trying to say, that we the people must part of. Yes, we don't trust government a lot of times. So, but at what point do we say, you know what, I am not going to buy custard what's a foreign one? Buy a certain foreign cereal. I'm going to choose to buy a local one. At what point does do we make that sacrifice? I choose not to use these foreign clothes. I choose to wear this one, even if they're just few. At what point do we begin to say we're not going to use? So that's a part of where do we come in this whole picture? Do we continue to wait for government to make that policy and force us, or make a deliberate and intentional decision to choose within?
And what I know from Nigerians' history is importers frustrate local markets so that their markets can take over, their goods can take over markets. So we as Nigerians need to stop all those one-man empowerment policies where, it's my business, I must grow my business no matter what it's at stake.
The closest person to presidency.
Yes, and then you'll be the one getting the waivers. You bring in your importation, but you get waivers. And the local business, Tokwe mentioned Biloxi. Obasanjo empowered businesses then, gave moratoriums on taxes so that businesses could grow. MTN had over 10 years moratorium on taxes so that they could grow here. And we provided that technology, and people are enjoying it today. But when a businessman is coming up today, that's when your local government will come and show up. They'll start taxing and frustrate that businessman back into business, into his house. Biloxi now had to shut down because his importation could not get, and his goods are stuck at the ports. Those are some of the little tiny things that government must do, which is why I agree with, said BC was agreeing. Government has so much role to play, but we Nigerians, how do we see ourselves? This colonial mentality, we don't see it how when our kids are inheriting it. Taste, lifestyle, everything that is locally here. If somebody is consuming local now, it's too local. If the person wears a local look, the person is too local. If you show up at a party where everybody is laced up in an Ankara, you are dressed down. Except it is the uniform of the party.
Even Ankara is imported.
Even though it is imported, it's called cheaper fashion. We don't want to see our own, and own it. Before they honor Adire, they had to be Nika Art Gallery to over Adire's. Before they honored it, we had belittled everything that carried our history. And Africa cannot move forward without Nigeria moving forward.
Let me come to you.
We have to do something. Yeah. Nigerians have to get our superior mentality on point.
Well, you see, I hear you. The foreign mentality. I've cracked this joke or said this many years ago, that in the early days of my marriage, my husband used to support dreadlocks. No, not dreadlocks. Natural hair. He's like, you look nice, like naturally. And I used to just wear my hair naturally. I didn't care. Just for one day, I saw my husband on TV, watching TV. Was watching Kiniko Kardashians. He was like, see how Kim fine. I see her hair. He was drooling over Kardashian. I said, this uncle that says that I should not go and wear weave on. I thought maybe he hated weave on. He was now talking about Kim Kardashian, big girl, you're hot, going to ring her hair. Kia. Before they said, I have to go and look for a job. Who's selling wig here? I have to go and buy a wig because our appetite, what we've seen as beauty, what we've seen as luxury, as what we have seen, whether we like it or not. So we've passed that level. We're at a stage we're at that stage where we have that foreign appetite. Okay. What do we now do to retrace our steps?
So it's not a crime to have a foreign appetite. And let us stop deceiving ourselves to believe that everybody is equal in the society. You cannot have people equal in the society. There are people who have put in the work, who have earned the right to desire some exotic things. Somebody like an Otedola now or a Dangote, you will not tell them that you have to eat local rice. It's by force. To be a patriot, you have to eat local rice. You will be deceiving yourself. They will import it. And that's why I would agree with Tokbe to say what other countries have done is those things that you are importing, fire them with high tax so that we know that it's people at a certain level will be able to afford it. Now, what I also see is the ojukokoro of our nature. There are people who know that they have not gotten there, but they are doing whatever it takes to be able to eat those things and wear those things. Stay at your level, grow at your pace, and when government is able to flood the market, hold on, it's not about complex. No, it's not about complex. It's about understanding that I cannot afford to use an iPhone right now. I'll be able to use this and this and this at my level. And it's okay. So you say because we want to make this policy and everybody must eat local, you, the government, you are not using innocent cars. You are ordering cars from other countries to show that status. And then you want to make a policy for every other person. It doesn't work that way. We're going to look at it holistically. Ask ourselves, what items do we need to begin to produce? How do we support these local manufacturers in the country and see how it goes? It's gradual. Before you know it, everybody is picking up and say, okay, I'd rather use this product because it's made in my country. It's not something you force on people.
Toko, let me come back to you. We're discussing this importation of foreign goods or appetite for foreign goods. And I know you had a position you wanted to take earlier.
So when we discuss about enabling environments, we talk about Nigerians' appetite for foreign things. We tend to talk about it from our own perspective and our ecosystem. But Nigeria is bigger than the 100 or 1,000 people that each of us know. And for every time you go outside Lagos or outside the cities, they don't even see those. Majority of Nigerians cannot even buy those foreign goods. So we're judging the entire country based on a few, like 5% or 10% of the population. The majority of Nigerians are still finding it tough to buy locally. The yams are expensive. We remember last year, there was a time when people were buying half tubers of yam. They were cutting yams into pieces for people to buy. So we're talking that this is locally produced in Nigeria, and yet it is expensive. So when Reno sits on the side of the world where he is and comments on Nigerian economy, I would like him to have a conversation with Nigeria Bureau of Statistics and be quoting Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. I've engaged with them and I've realized that we wrongfully judge them like they don't have data. They do. It is us that don't have data. We are judging Nigeria based on our circle as opposed to judging Nigeria based on the number. And if you look at the number, majority of Nigerians are still in a major struggling space. So they're not buying the human hair.
At all.
The majority of Nigerians are not buying human hair. They're not buying the foreign goods. It's few buying the foreign goods. But and when they go to the market to buy foreign, it is not because it is foreign, it's because it is cheaper.
And durable.
It is because it is cheaper, Muraya. When you go to the store, you are looking, you carry a tin, the one they write made in Nigeria, and a tin is 600 and something naira. And you see the one that is written in Indonesia, and it's 200 naira. Nobody will give you, nobody will teach you which one to pick. I was buying coconut milk, I wanted to buy coconut milk, and we have locally produced one and imported one, and the price margin was far high. Somebody was telling me that the locally produced one has a higher quotient of the coconut milk, and the imported one was more of water and sugar than milk. So when people are faced with buying this, why do we buy okrika? Majority of Nigerians are not buying imported brand new outfits. At all. Majority are still going to Katangwa and buying okrika. Yes. Why are they buying okrika?
It's more durable.
It's because it is cheaper and more durable. So why the real population is not elitist. The real Nigerians are buying.
Let's break down the conversation.
If we look at the numbers, it's the same thing. There's still that part of the numbers. It happened with the champagne. Many people, even though no matter how much they still put extra juice on that, people are still buying champagne. If you now look at the numbers of importation, how much is costing our economy. So we're saying, we agree with you.
How much is
that there's a
costing
larger economy that probably doesn't even consume these things. But even the figure of the few that consuming is heavy on the economy. So where do we now, where do we become sacrificial as the elitists within the Nigerian?
People don't understand that heavy on the economy. Let me break it down. When they say heavy on the economy, it means that if Nigeria has $100,000 that comes in, they are going to have to use like 80,000 to satisfy the need, the elitist need of the 1%. And we will now be leaving 20,000. Industries are suffering because they cannot access Forex. But we are still having Forex for champagne and some other things. So I get you. I totally get you.
That is because the government is the one giving them. No, wait now. They are the ones making the laws and allowing them have access to that dollars. If you say, we are going to give these dollars that we have limited amounts. We're going to give it to the local industries.
They do that.
No, hold on.
Nigerian.
Do you know how long to get that list?
You cannot even enter
It
the
takes a long
list.
time to get that list. You cannot even enter that list. But the bosses in the offices will be the ones to say, okay, this person is big, that person is big. They are the ones paying school fees of their children. See, if we want to scatter this matter, even the religion self was borrowed.
Don't go there.
Our religion is borrowed.
Don't go there. Don't get
We
there.
should go back to our traditional, our ancestors
Off the mic.
Can I say something?
Please, Alaja,
So, I like that.
I have to pause you. I have a caller. Good morning. Hello, you there?
Let's go local.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, well, it's a very good conversation. But the question I want to ask you is, we're talking about supporting local goods and local manufacturers. But the question we should ask them is, do they have the capacity to give us quality? That's the first question. Now, let's look at the last. How many foreign contractors have had issues of buildings that have collapsed in the past? But all the buildings that collapsed in the Lagos and Nigeria are done by local people. But yes, we are still saying we're promoting stuff. In the past, with my local cars that were built here, I'm not going to leave the manufacturer. Within 2 weeks, the brake stopped working. We went back and we were like, this brake has failed and everything. They are like, the warranty, we give people warranty and everything. But the car he bought from Ben or whatever it is that is outdated, the brakes were still working fine.
I can't really hear
you.
him. Can you hear him? I'm having trouble hearing him, but did you hear?
We're not able to produce quality.
Condition of people will not change until they change their ways. It's a Quranic verse and it's been tested everywhere. It's either we want better for ourselves or we want to remain where we are.
The mentality.
It's a mentality. And it's sad that we will defend it. And I want to correct Top. The people who go to Kotagua to buy Okrika, it's not because of funds. I know rich people who buy it because of class. They will pick first grade. They will dust it up and say when it looks better on their kids in the pictures.
They are not rich.
Top, calm down.
Rich
people.
They are not
Let
rich.
me tell you.
There are different grades of rich.
Hey, we are talking of this class. What do you call it?
One.
The middle class.
Middle class.
The middle class.
They are not rich.
And then the ones we
The
need
rich
to
people,
develop our economy.
the rich people have set the standard by shopping abroad, taking their kids for summer, and then middle class will now go to Kotangwa. I beg, make it even
Look
nearer
like
small.
foreign. Look foreign.
I don't think that's
See,
let's not even go there. Let's not start from that point.
You see, no, wait, stop it. I'm busy. Can I finish what I'm saying? That's the mentality.
No,
that's the honest truth.
You cannot sit on your side.
That's
and
the
say
mentality,
this is the
BC.
I have been in that shoe before.
Wait
because
now.
I had bought hold on. I go to the market and I buy local. And before I know it, some places have torn. You know, as the kids grow now, you are constantly going looking for money to buy clothes. So I said, okay, let me, send somebody to the Katangwa to go and shop. These ones will last me. They outgrow and they move to the next person. It's no, hold on. It's not the mentality that I want my children. Listen now, that I want my children to look a certain way. It's the fact that this is durable for me. This will last for them. They are able to wear and hand down, and I move on.
But if you consider how that affects the Nigerian economy, the larger picture,
Nigerian economy, has the government considered me first?
No, so that's what I'm saying. We all of us can just say the government is not considering me.
And we say that BC talk this
now
talk.
me talker.
So we got a house of BC top and short for my son.
Yes.
He looks good on it. He likes to wear it only when he's going for some casual outing. But when he wants to play ball, that he will do keeper and scrape on the floor.
Expensive.
He will go and take the long
cheap
sleeve
China
one.
version.
Yes.
You consider it expensive. I consider it luxury and good for myself. And because it's produced here, it's an Ankara short. It has a look it gives me that makes me think, okay, I'm very African and I'm unapologetic.
But you see, my point is
that's the mentality.
They have not addressed the point.
No.
The point.
We are addressing durability. She said durability.
Yeah.
And I got the best, and I got the best
buy from
quality.
my hand.
Now, that
buy
one we still buy.
Okay. Children are
Until we don't buy plenty.
Okay, guys.
You won't count out.
let's not get distracted.
Just a moment.
Let's not get distracted.
So we water down the importance of this.
Please.
We cannot leave our people with an inferiority complex for generations. It's a wrong, and we used to call it colonial mentality, but where we are now, 2 girls in Ogun State, daughters of a pastor, were allowed people to go and allowed somebody, deceive them somewhere for their organs to be harvested. They were paid 150,000. What did they do? They bought a used iPhone. We can, but now something lead there. No, somebody has set the standard that if you don't show direction like this with an iPhone, you don't show direction like this, you're a poor person.
Let us
and so the girls just want to show.
Wrap up, guys.
I think go this way, that way. That's
Tuesday,
we need to deal
and it's
with
our
it.
Health Tuesday, so we have to discuss health. So I have to wrap up. I'm not talking when it is only very important.
Sorry, my dad.
I give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Let's not be distracted by the conversation. The point is, the Nigerian government has a responsibility to the Nigerian people.
Thank you.
Just as the Nigerian people have a
And
responsibility
the Nigerian
to
people have,
themselves.
yes. And I was going to say that Nigerian government has a responsibility to Nigerian people, and the Nigerian people need to be loyal to the Nigerian government. Even if you don't like the person in power, be loyal to your country, regardless of who's in power.
I think we can end with that. That's all we can take on this segment. Whew.